Hello, welcome back to the Criminal Motives Podcast. My name is Matthew Phifer. I am your host. And today we are going to be talking about, I'm going to be giving my reactions about a woman, an LA woman, who was duped, who was scammed by an AI video that was made. She was targeted by scammers who made it seem like a celebrity from the TV show General Hospital had fallen in love with her. And because of this, she not only sold her house, but she gave up her life's savings, tens of thousands of dollars, to this AI scam that she thought was not only a celebrity, but thought that they were in love. Not going to lie to you, I'm a little torn on this one. I'm going to get into my thoughts and my reactions here in a second. But if you enjoy videos like this, topics like this, if you enjoy topics like true crime, storytelling, I get into a lot of different stories, current events, news. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to like, be sure to share this video out to different people. I also have a lot of different other items down in the description. I have a Substack down in the description where I also talk about things. Some of them I may not create videos about, but different stories that may not make headline news, but that are still very, very interesting. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get things started.
Can you tell which one is the real Steve Burton? The one on the left is him, while the one on the right is an artificial intelligence version.
Eyewitness News investigative reporter Kevin Ozebek here to explain this scam. Wow, Kevin.
Yeah, Mark and Michelle, has artificial intelligence now become so good and so advanced, you can no longer truly tell what is real and what is fake? Well, a South LA family sure thinks we've now reached that point. A woman turned to 7 On Your Side investigates after her mom lost tens of thousands of dollars and even sold her home. All because her mother thought the star of General Hospital was deeply in love with her.
I'm sickened by it because it went this far. Why didn't I know this? Why didn't I see what was happening? What did I miss?
Vivian Ruvlacaba wishes she knew sooner what her mother Abigail was doing online and what Abigail was texting to the scammer who sent her this.
Hello, Abigail. I love you so much, darling. I had to make this video to make you happy, my love.
To General Hospital fans, this face and voice are instantly recognizable as the likeness of Steve Burton.
We're going to be there to stop him, one way or another.
Burton has played the leading role of Jason Morgan since 1991 and is a fan favorite. This is the real Burton on set.
She was a dead ringer for Britt.
And this is a dead ringer for Burton.
I hope this puts a smile on your heart.
Tech experts we showed this video to believe it was created with AI.
And you should always know that nothing will ever make me hurt you or lie to you, my queen.
Identical to him. So I understand why she fell for it.
After Abigail received similar videos in her Facebook DMs in October of last year, she thought the real General Hospital star was in love with her. The scammer moved the conversation over to WhatsApp, where he told Abigail, "I want to live the rest of my life with you. Steve Burton and Abigail Burton sounds like a dream come true. And you're my wife."
In her head, there was no scammer. She was talking to Steve Burton the entire time.
Vivian says her mother has suffered with mental illness and bipolar 1 disorder for years. And she says that's why when the scammer, posing as the soap star, texted her mom that he lost properties in the LA fires, Abigail believed it. Abigail was also fooled with texts like this: "The beach house is something we will love, baby." Thinking Steve Burton needed money so they could buy a home to share together, her mother, according to an LAPD incident report, sent the scammer at least $81,304 in gift cards, cash, and Bitcoin.
Now she's in complete debt. Now she's going to have to file for bankruptcy.
But it gets even worse. Earlier this year, Abigail texted the scammer, "I remember you had suggested to sell the place. I said no. Now, I don't care." The scammer replied, If selling the place is what will give us a fresh start and bring us closer to where we both want to be, then I am behind you. Abigail then sold her condo in Harbor City for $350,000. Vivian learned of all this right in the nick of time.
Had I not intervened when I did, she was scheduled to send the scammer $70,000 out of that money that was sitting there. She's ashamed. I know she is. And to put that stress on me, on herself, on my dad, the entire family, I know it weighs heavy on her.
And unfortunately, the living, breathing Steve Burton has heard of stories like this before.
How many women do you think have fallen victim to this?
Oh, that I know of?
Yeah.
I mean, that I know of lost money, it's in the hundreds.
Burton says here on his verified Instagram account, he sees scammers responding to fan comments to lure them to other pages where they are eventually asked for money.
First of all, I don't need your money. I would never ask for money.
We also showed him the video that duped Abigail.
Hello, Abigail. I love you so much, darling.
Sounds like my voice for sure, 100%.
And he's seen ones like this before. Burton now calls this style of scam an epidemic.
I see people come to my appearances and look at me like they've had a relationship online for a couple years, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. And you just see, it's so sad, you see the devastation.
We can't be the only ones going through this. There's other families that are going through something like this.
Welcome back, and before we get started, if this video has brought up some emotions or if this hit a little too close to home, just know that you are not alone. As a former therapist and as someone who has gone to therapy, I know how powerful it can be to have someone in your corner, especially when things get heavy and you don't have all the answers. That's why I've partnered with BetterHelp, so you can get access to a licensed therapist from the comfort of your home. Use the link in my description and you'll get 15% off your first month of therapy. They not only offer individual therapy, they also offer couples therapy, and they also offer therapy for teenagers. Taking the first step can make all the difference. Also, if you want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to my Substack, where I give my deep, unfiltered thoughts on stories that may not always reach the headlines. And also, be sure to subscribe to my Substack, where I offer deeper case breakdowns, psychological twists, and stories that don't always make the headlines. If you like going beyond surface level coverage, then my Substack is for you. You can subscribe in the links down in the description. With all that being said, let's get back to the show. So I'm a little torn on this. I know a lot of people are going to be upset with me and say, Matt, you're victim blaming, you're this, you're that, but there's a difference between victim blaming and victim responsibility. Now, before I continue, I know and I understand that she has a bipolar diagnosis. Guess what? Sorry to tell you guys, in a lot of situations, mental health is not a reason or an excuse for poor behavior. Right? We wouldn't allow for someone to, so for example, like bipolar might be a reason why someone might cheat, but it's not an excuse for cheating. So we're kind of in that scenario here where, like, ma'am, you're old enough to understand how, for 1 second, let's pretend like she really did think that this was real. Obviously, she thought this was real. It's not an excuse to send money to some man that you've never met. Let's be real. And in this clip, the woman who was being interviewed, her daughter, was talking about her and her dad. So I'm not 100% certain that she's still married or if they're divorced or whatever the case is. So let's give two different scenarios, right? Let's say that she is still married. There's no excuse. You're married, been married, right? Have children, and you're sending money to a man that you've never met, right? So let's say that she's divorced, right? You're old enough. You're old enough to understand that. And let's pretend for a second, right? In her mind, this is a real deal, right? Real person, real scenario. You're selling your possessions. You're selling a home for a guy that you've never met, right? You're old enough to understand and know, right? You've been through the ringer, right? Through at least one divorce, right? I don't want to say that she's been with a bunch of different people and things like that, but you've been through at least one divorce, so you know that there are scenarios where you can feel like you're falling in love and know that things didn't work out, right? So let's cut through the BS of one of the things. So when we talk about going back to this whole victim blaming thing, like there's plenty of people who have these same diagnosis, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, or whatever the case is, and they don't do these things. Period. Right? So like a lot of times when people talk about victim blaming, they, on the other end of it, we are also doing a disservice to people who have these diagnoses. They don't do this type of stuff, right? They know better. And the fact that, and I understand that situations like this can spiral out of control pretty quickly, but if you are really that in love and you're not talking to your daughter about this, you're not talking to your friends and your family, or you did, and when they said something to you about this, you continued down this road anyway. So at some point in time, there has to be some level of personal responsibility. Now, let's get into the whole scammer side of this, right? Y'all have to be, you have to be careful, right? And for those of you who are younger, who understand AI and how the tools work and those sorts of things, we also have a responsibility. For those of you who don't know, I also teach people about AI, not in terms of scamming and things like that, but teach people about how to use tools for their social media marketing and things like that. If you want to see some of my other channels and where I teach people about social media, that type of stuff is linked in my other accounts are linked in the description down below as well. But we have a responsibility to the older generation to make sure that they don't fall for scams like this, right? Because in this situation, it was a love situation, but there's other situations and other scenarios where people will use AI voices and they will clone people's voice to make it sound like a loved one and then scam them out of money. They'll make it seem like they're hurt. They'll make it seem like they're injured. The older generation, because they don't understand that these are clones and that it's a possibility of it being cloned, it will really sound like their grandchild, their daughter, their son, sound like the person is in distress. And so that's something that anyone can fall for. But I think that the younger generation kind of knows, or people who are familiar with AI, I should say, it doesn't have to be old or young, understand that this is a possibility, right? That this that these things, how AI works, and that there's tools out there to make it sound like someone that you love or care about is in distress, and you're sending them tens of thousands of dollars. But getting back to this case at hand, we have to understand that let's again even pretend for a second that this isn't AI, that this is a real life scenario. We have to understand that there are people out there who will use love as a tool of manipulation to coerce you into giving them the things that they want, right? Money, places to stay, things of that nature. We actually see these type of scams with men who are in prison, who are scamming people out of their money, right? Scamming typically women out of their money. And so we have to be more careful, and we also have to do a better job as a community. Like I said right from the beginning, I'm a little torn out of this situation. Obviously, people shouldn't be doing these type of things, but at the same time, we have to understand that there are people out there, right, not only using AI tools, but will themselves, right? It can be a real actual person. And for those of you who are doing like things like online dating, and which I completely discourage people from doing. If you're doing things like if you're meeting people, like I have a couple of videos on YouTube Shorts and on my social media channels talking about women meeting men in prisons. You got to be careful, right? And let me rephrase: don't do it, right? You got to get the easy stuff right. Let's not send money to people we've never met before, right? Let's start there. Let's not sell our house for a relationship for a person that we've never met. Let's start there, right? Let's not drain our life savings for a person that we've never met, or a man or a woman that's in prison, right? Let's get that type of stuff right, especially when you're in, I mean, really anyone should get that right, but especially when we've reached certain points in our life where we've even if we haven't experienced these things ourselves, where we've seen, we've heard, and we may have learned from other people's mistakes, right? Other people's stories, right? And to understand that there are people out here who do things like this, right? So let's get the little stuff right, and let's not allow for people to use mental health and mental illness as a reason for bad behavior and also poor judgment. With all that being said, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Make sure let me know whether you agree or disagree. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. With all that being said, thank you guys very much, and I will see you in the next video. You guys have a good one.